Page 128, Hallelujah Chorus. It's a very famous melody from a long time ago. At the top of the page, they're introducing a new musical symbol for you to learn and remember now forever and ever and ever. It's a cut time symbol. It's a C. Remember common time is a C? Well, this is like that C, but it's got a line through it. So it's cut time. And it simply cuts the numbers in half. Instead of 4/4, now it's 2/2. So it means there's only 2 counts in a measure, but we're counting half notes. A half note gets a count. Well, if a half note gets a count, a quarter note gets half a count. That's 1 and 2 and 1 and. Those are quarter notes. Eighth notes are like 1 and a 2 and to them, and they're moving. However, for me, when I learn a new piece of music that's in cut time, I pretend that it's in 4/4 time. That way a quarter note gets a count and it's easier for me to see the rhythm. Now once I have the rhythm down and I know what it is and I start thinking about the speed, the tempo, then I put it back in cut time. So in this lesson, to start, I'm going to talk about this piece as though it's in 4/4 time and a quarter note gets a count. So I'm going to go through my system for learning a piece of music. I see it's 1 page long, treble and bass clef, cut time. However, I'm going to pretend it's in common time for now. And there's a bunch of dotted half notes and quarter notes and eighth notes. I think we can deal with that. A whole note here and there. Take the right hand first to make sure that the fingering and everything is working okay. Right hand here. We're moving around. We're sort of in this position or this position. But if you look at the first quarter note, you see it's with third finger, so that puts you here. So we're sort of in this position. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, when I first learned a piece of music, I play it all connected. We do these staccatos and stuff later. Third measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. The idea? Second line, second measure. It's here, and during the rest you come down, fifth finger. And then at the end of the line, during that rest, you come back up here. Because now we're in this position, we keep moving around. In the third line, third measure, it's 1, rest. They don't need the 4 there. You're already there. You're not moving around. You're in this position. You're going to play that with fourth finger, so you don't need it. It's fine. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. See, it's tied. That C is tied. So you got to hang on to it for one more beat, and then you go on. And the fourth line down during the rest in the second measure, you come down. Okay, you can get the right hand. Left hand, well, you're starting here. Now, and it's 1, 2, 3, rest, 2, 3, 4. Isn't this fun? You don't need that finger number in the last measure, the first line, that 2. You don't need that. You're already there. Don't read finger numbers, please. Read the notes. Just trust it. You need finger numbers when you have to move around or something. Like in the second line, third measure, you got to come up 1 key here. And then during the rest, at the end of the second line, you come up here. You're in this position, fourth finger. And you're in this. Then in the fourth line, you're here. In second measure, you're here. During the rest, they don't say anything, but you have to move the left hand. You got to come back down into this position. So you can use second finger on that quarter note F. And then the last line, you come up 1 key to the A. And during the rest, the last line, for the last 2 measures, you got to come down here to the GF. And during the rest, you come down. Okay. So you can figure out the fingering. It's just they didn't give you the finger numbers in the fourth line like you need. Put the hands together. It's here. See, that G is by itself. Make sure the left hand lifts up. Rest, rest. The idea. You put the hands together. It gets a little tricky when you're moving your hands around. Look at the end of the second line. You're here. and both hands come up here. Both the right hand's coming up here and the left hand's coming up here. They're moving the same direction, but they're moving different distances. And this gets tricky. So I would suggest, if you can, move one hand first and then the other, real quick. You can do it. You can focus on one hand and then the other. It works. Generally, depending on which direction you're going, the hand in front will move first. Because if you don't, sometimes the hand in front gets in the way and the other hand. So move this hand and then this hand. So at the end of the second line, you're here. During the rest, I'm going to come up and then I'm going to come up here. Now in the fourth line, when you're coming down, you're moving again, but this time the left hand has wrist. So you're coming down here with the right hand. As you're playing these notes, you're coming down with the left hand. Like so. So you can work out the hand movements because the beat has to be steady. You don't mess up the beat because you're moving the hands around. Now once I have the fingering and all worked out, I get rid of any hesitations anywhere. You can keep it slow, but no hesitations. Then I'll put in the staccatos and stuff. And I'm hinging at the wrist on these. These are short staccatos. 3, 4. See that? Then you have slurs and some where you connect it. And third line here, you have a staccato on the third measure. And that's tied, hang on to it, you're adding that to it. So it's and then back to the staccatos. You get the idea. So put in the articulation, and then we'll think about the dynamics. Mainly to the right hand. That's what we want to hear. Loud is F forte, no? Whatever you think that is. Don't get carried away, it's just loud. I want to hear this is in the background. And you're loud until the third line down when you go up to very loud. And this can be both hands here. It's like a duet. Second measure where it goes back to loud, this is mainly right hand. And then at the end, you have a retardando to slow down a little bit. I want to talk about the rhythm, the last two measures. You have a rest in the left hand. You're lifting up for one beat and then coming down. That's handy because you need to do that. But connect this. Don't hold the left hand down. That's not what's written. Yeah, careful. Then the speed. Well, that's where we put it back in cut time. We want to feel this in 2. 1, 2. It doesn't have to be a fast 2, it's just 2. 2, 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, 2. 1, 2. All the way through. Just feel it in 2 as you go through. Now, a little bit about interpretation here. And by that, I'm talking of natural accents. Make sure you feel this. And the natural accents, 1, 2, 1, 2. The 1 is a little stronger than 2, but those are the ones. Everything else is back there. 1, 2, 1. It's bum bum. We need to feel that all the way through. Second line, the second measure going into the third measure. That F, that's the natural. It should feel to here. To here we go to here. So. It slows down at the end, you get the idea. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'll do both hands about the same. And I'm going to do this in 4/4 time. I'll put the metronome on quarter notes. We'll do it real slowly together. We're just checking notes and rhythms. We're not performing it. I will do the staccatos though. And the natural accents. I always do those. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. Three and 3 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4, 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest in. Rest in. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,